the only show on Thursdays that starts the weekend early. I am your host, TomDog247. As always, I'm Tom Dog all day and Tom Dog all night. Ooh, baby, alright. So, we had a lot of fun last week talking about Spider-Man and everything, excuse me. Talking about Spider-Man and the whole Sony Disney fiasco, that this week is even going to be more I think maybe even more interesting, because we have something good to talk about, and we have to talk about it now before it's too late. And you're probably reading on the description underneath this that yes, that's what we are talking about. We'll get to that a little bit in just a minute. But first, the shout-outs and everything, like we always do, each and every week. Some like it, some don't, but my show, I can do whatever I want. Within reason. Within reason, of course. So, anyways, big shout-out to my good buddy Josh. How's it going? He's got the Absolute Talk with Josh Albert. You can check him out on iTunes. You can also download the Podbean app. Do so right now. And absolutetalk.podbean.com. Definitely worth checking out. It's amazing. Definitely worth checking out. Has some really good podcasts. He has a really good podcast. Definitely worth checking out. Godzilla, you hold on to these cards. So, definitely worth checking out. It's good. And you'll love it just as much as I do. Big shout out over to my friends over at Gamer Geeks and Gaming Pros and Hobbies. Over on Facebook, check them out. We always have a good time, and you will too. Just tell them Tom Dog sent ya. Melly Plays on Hulu. Oh my god. On YouTube. Sorry. Melly Plays on YouTube. Check her out. She has a good show. Definitely work it. She has some merch there as well too. You can check them out on the link on her YouTube channel. Definitely worth checking out. And of course, good shout out over to my good friend Marissa. How you doing? Hope you have an amazing weekend. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose. Something that I should have done before the show, and for that I apologize. I apologize. So yeah, hope you have a good weekend. So it's Labor Day weekend, so happy Labor Day weekend to you all. And this episode is brought to you by... Oh, before that, I almost forgot the shout out. The plugs, not the hair plugs. We all know I don't need them. Funko, if you haven't subscribed to the Funko's boxes, I don't even know if they're still around, but I'm plugging in anyways. Check them out. They're always good. Go to Funko.com. They have they have some nice subscription boxes. And this episode is brought to you by my card that's falling on the floor. I'm kidding. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. You can trade in your old video games and consoles from retro video games, accessories, and systems. You can also trade in your DVD box sets and Blu-rays. You can also trade in your sports cards and novelty items, as well as wrestling collectibles and autographed items spanning from sports, wrestling, and actors. If you happen to be in the Connecticut area and you want to check this wonderful store out, do so. It's amazing. You'll love it just as much as I do. And if you want directions on how to get there and list of events that they have going on, you should check them out at their website at mjvideogamesandcollectibles.com. And that was fast. That's mjvideogamesandcollectibles.com. And of course, this episode is also brought to you by the She Beam Brewing Company here in Connecticut, home of the Downright Up Left YB. Awesome beer. It's really good. You check out their website at shebeambrewing.com. Also, you could you can follow them on the social media apps, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or download the Untapped app today. Do so. Gotta do so. Do it. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I am drinking coffee from a new cup that I got. Alltown. A new gas station / convenience store opened up in my area not too long ago, and I decided that I should go and get me a cup. Pretty pricey, but it was worth it. Metal with a matte finish. Can't go wrong with that. And this coffee's still hot. Keeps your coffee hot. Keeps your hot drinks hot and your cold drinks cold. Can't go wrong with that. So, now I get a notification saying that... now I finally get notifications saying that I'm live. Guess that's part of the update that I got. Alright. So anyways, D23 happened last week. And there was there was a lot of stuff going on, especially with all the Spider-Man news and everything. So Spider-Man fans were at full swing and everything, but and of course Tom Holland has some things to say about that. And we'll address that in another show or something like that, maybe in the follow-up. But D23 happened, and the primary focus for this year's D23 is painfully obvious. Is like absolutely obvious, I should say. That Disney Plus is coming. They definitely were pushing a lot of content that's going to be coming to Disney Plus, and there's going to be a lot of original content, and of course, and some content, and some movies and shows and stuff like that that's going to that's coming out of the vault. So it's going to be the response was well received. They open up the show with High School Musical, the series, which is confusing even for the name itself. I guess it's like a documentary TV show, kind of like how the Muppets were when they did that one season on ABC, which I loved, but it is what it is. and so they're going to be doing something like going somewhere like that. Um, and of course it takes so it's interesting to see where how this all plays out. Um, of course they're using they're going to be using the high school that the cast from the movies arrived in, and that we're in and everything. So it's very interesting to see what happens. I of course never saw any of the High School Musical movies, so something that I probably won't get into. Not saying that it's a bad thing, it's not. I'm not knocking it down. It's just one of those things that wrong time for me. On certain things. If you're a Lizzie McGuire fan, Lizzie McGuire is coming back. Hilary Duff is going to be reprising her role as an only this time she's an adult, and the cartoon cartoon conscious, I guess you could say, is coming back as well too. So it's interesting to see what happens, and so yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So Hilary Duff received a huge reception when she came on stage and everything. So it was really nice to see her. She looks good for her age too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna do the banana bit because. Not for this one, because I want to try to make it as friendly as make it as fun as possible, even though it's an adult show, which is why the show is rated AE 18 for all ages 18 and up. Sorry, it's an adult show, so adult show, not store. So yeah, a lot of good things are coming up. The Mandalorian was a huge response to, because not only is it going to be Star Wars' original show, not only is it the first ever live action Star Wars show. I'm not sure where it falls in the timeline, but it's going to be good. They even got Carl Weathers into this, which is also good. So I'm actually glad for that. And so I mean the scenery looks really amazing. It looks really, really good. But again, I'm not sure where it falls in the timeline, and who knows? Probably it takes place after between Jedi and The Force Awakens. I'm just saying. Could be. I don't know. I mean, if it is possible, then maybe we can see the return of Boba Fett. Some are saying that that's Boba Fett in the shot, but I don't know. So, or maybe this is like a predecessor to, in like a prequel to that, and it is a story behind Boba Fett after what happened during, the prequel trilogy, where Jango Fett lost his head. So we're not sure. So again, I don't know where it falls in the timeline. I'm sure we're going to get more information when that does arrive. So yeah, it is what it is. And of course, Clone Wars is coming back, so that's also good too, with some new episodes, which that's good. Can't argue with that, as well as the original series, as well, and they're going to be I guess from what I understand, it's going to be continuing on with the from where they left off. So this is going to be a very interesting lineup of what they got. And then Marvel came on the scene. They had they gave a rundown of what's going to be about in regards to the some of the shows they got. They got the Winter Soldier and Winter Soldier and the Falcon. They came out. They're going to be reprising their the guys that played them are going to be reprising their characters for this, which is a continuation of the MCU that's happening. So that right there is also very good, as well as WandaVision. It's going to play somewhere in the MCU timeline. Looking forward to that as well too. There's also going to be an animated show called What If for and basically it's a series that focuses on the DC character. Oh my God, on the Marvel characters, some in the Marvel universe. It could be in the Marvel universe. Some could be in other genres. On what would happen if that situation was different. So they're gonna be tackling that. Of course, they touch base on Loki's on the show for Loki, which is also very good, and a new I forgot the I think it was Inhumans. I don't know. That that's going to happen. So it's going to be a good show. Going to be a pretty good show. So that's the original content that they're going to be bringing in. Plus, of course, the MCU is going to play a huge factor into this. The MCU is going to play a huge role, of course, with all the movies, with all the movies in this MCU, including the Spider-Man movies, and they got Ms. Marvel. They got a show for Ms. Marvel. Not sure if it's going to be within the MCU or not. We're not sure, but we'll see. So it is kind of interesting to see how that's all going to take place and everything. So all the Marvel content's going to be going on there, as well as some new content from Marvel, which is also very good. So, with that being said, everybody knows the deal with Disney, with Netflix. Once Disney Plus comes on, you won't see any Disney content on Netflix. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, because there's like tons of Disney related content on Netflix right now that you could watch. So I don't know when that's going to leave. Maybe that's going to leave sometime in October, which will be a good time to do so, because of the fact that they're because the second week of November, that's when Disney Plus is going to come on. So I'm thinking by the end of October. That's a prediction. That by the time, I would say by Halloween, we should see a lot of Disney content leaving, including the holiday specials, as well as all the Marvel movies that are on there, the Disney movies that they have on there. Big question is Spider-Man going to stay? Is Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse going to stay going to stay on Netflix, or is that going to go, because that isn't a, you know, isn't really a Disney film per se, because it's a Sony animation movie. So that's going to be a tough one, as I mentioned last week in regards to Spider-Man. That was one thing I forgot to mention, is that what's going to happen to once all that Marvel and Disney content that's going to be leaving Netflix, is Enter the Spider-Verse going to follow them? That's a really good question. Are we going to see it on Disney Plus, or are we going to see that still on Netflix? So, like I said, it's really tough, because I don't know. I really don't know. Also, I forgot to mention of a live action Lady and the Tramp movie that's going to be arriving on launch. And what's beautiful about this movie, because I've seen the trailer so many times, and it's by far one of the most adorable movies I have ever seen coming from Disney. And Lady and the Tramp, the animated the Disney animated movie, which will also be on the lineup there, both the live action and the animated one, so you can get a comparison of how they're going to look. And they look phenomenal. They really look phenomenal, and there hasn't been any complaints about this, for two reasons. For two good reasons. Number one, that the fact that the dogs that they have, the animals that they have in this film are going to be look exactly like their animated counterparts. So that right there is good, and the cast that they have is also very good too, which is which comes close to the voice actors from the animated movies, which that's also very good. And it looks adorable. I mean, I have a soft spot for that kind of stuff, and it looks really, really good. It really does. And so watching, and the second reason why this movie is going to be really good is because of the fact that all the dogs that you see, all the dogs that you see that you're going to see in this film are all rescue dogs. So that right there is a win-win. And not only that, the dog that that's cast to play Lady already got adopted. She already did, and I mean, that warmed me up right there. It really did, but it was really nice. We're not sure. Doesn't look like there's going to be any Siamese cats. There's a little bit of gray area in that part, because in the animated movie there were Siamese cats, and they were stereotypical. At that time, there was a lot of stereotypes in Disney animated films. You had the crows from Dumbo. Some of the characters in Peter Pan, the Indians, of course, with the controversial song that they had, which was "What Makes a Red Man Red." I don't know. That's so yeah. That was a touchy subject right there, and others too, and so yeah, that's going to be. So yeah, so there's a lot of gray areas right there. So I don't think that there's going to be any Siamese cats in this film. If they are, they're probably not going to be stereotypes. Just saying. I don't know. Because that will raise some questions. I'm just saying. So yeah. Um. Whew. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened at D23 revolving around Disney Plus. So I'm looking forward to it, and you know, with the bundle that I talked about, I think it was last week or so. In one of the episodes I talked about how how it's going to be bundled really well with Hulu and National Geographic. Speaking of which, there's going to be an original series on the National Geographic section, hosted by Jeff Goldblum. So that's actually really really cool too. Um, so yeah, um, so this is going to be very So Disney Plus is actually going to be very very interesting as well. You know, you're going to have ESPN, ABC. There's going to be tons of content that you're going to be watching. And what's best about this too is that you won't be able. There's not going to be that much binge watching because of the fact that that all the that some of the that the original series that's going to be on Disney Plus is going to be on a weekly basis. So that means if you want to watch that revival of Lizzie McGuire, you're going to watch one episode and then you're going to have to wait till next week to see what happens next on the adventures of Lizzie McGuire. You know, that sort of thing. You know, same thing with Loki and so forth. You get the idea. So it keeps you entertained so that you're not binge watching like Netflix does, where they throw all the shows at you at once, and then you're just like, what next? So yeah, I got some. So yeah, so we're gonna be so that's gonna be good, and there's gonna be tons of content for you guys to watch, and not only that, it's bundled really well. $12.99 for everything. I mean, you're not only are you getting Disney Plus, but you're going to be getting ABC, Hulu, ESPN, National Geographic, the Disney Animation Studios, Pixar, Disney Pictures. I mean, there's going to be tons of stuff that's going to be included with this, and you can't go wrong with that. You can't. I mean, all that for $12.99. That, I think that's a good deal. So good, in fact, that the as it stands right now, Netflix has been losing some customers. So yeah, it's been very very tough for Netflix. And their stock went down a little bit last month. So they're hurting. They're not hurting where they're gonna shut their doors down and say bye bye Netflix and everything like that. No, they're you know, it just, you know, it's like a flesh wound, so to speak. You know, just like a scratch. You know, like a scratch, like a big scratch right there that has to be stitched up like right now. You know, sort of thing. Because you're going to be losing, because if you don't get that wound sewn up and everything, you're going to lose more and more and more. Just saying. And yes, I'm comparing blood to subscribers. I'm just saying. So it's hurting a little bit. But not much. So yeah. So Netflix, this comes to you. We have to talk. We have to seriously talk. Like Joan Rivers used to say, "Can we talk? Can we talk?" I know that was the worst impression of Joan Rivers, but you have to forgive me, even though that sounded like Larry David trying to sound like Joan Rivers. That's what it sounded like. Can we talk? That's what it sounded like. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, so So yeah, I came up with 5 ideas for Netflix that um, may or may not work. You know, it's open for debate. I mean, with the 5 that I have, might be different than the 5 that you have. So yeah, leave a comment down below on what you think, but don't comment yet. Wait until I do mine. If it doesn't work, say so. I mean, if you think it will work, say so. Again, let's be civilized human beings and not be malicious by cussing me out and everything and saying, "Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about," and nobody wants to listen to you or that sort of thing, because I'm not going to hear it. I'm just going to delete the comment, seriously. But let's be civil. Let's be, for once, civilized human beings, because this is a very serious thing, because once Disney Plus comes on, Netflix is going to hurt. We don't know how bad, because of all the content that Disney Plus is going to be carrying, but it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt them badly. It's kind of like the Monday Night Wars, and yeah, I'm using wrestling references on an entertainment show. And yeah, one can debate and say, well, isn't wrestling entertainment? Well, yeah, but I have a different show for that. You forget I have Wrestling Prime. Which I've been kind of neglecting lately. And for that, I do apologize. Because there's some stuff I need to talk about. I'm just saying. So, anyways, or as I always say, anywho. So these are the top 5 ideas that I have that can help Netflix be a good competition instead of a one-sided competition against Disney Plus, because from the lineup that they have going on, plus also a lot of content that they have going on too, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough act to follow. It really is. So this is why I came up with this top 5. So without stalling and delaying and all that other shit that I always do, kind of like what I did last week, where I was just like going on and just holding the cards up and not saying anything and just like delaying the countdown, where it was irritating everybody and saying, come on, what are your options there? Like, what are your ideas there? Come on. Quit stalling and get with it, man. I got places to go and women to do. Especially if you're a woman. All right. Enough screwing around. Let's get down to business. Okay, so here are the top 5 ideas I have for Netflix to be a good competition against Disney Plus. Number 5, and we're gonna also go discuss them as we go along. So this is going to be a long countdown. Even longer if I don't start it. Which is some of you are saying right now. Come on. So here we go. Alright, number 5. Move to a new location. Now, this one is, again, I had, kind of like the idea that I had for last week for last week's number 5 in regards to Spider-Man. I had to pick that one because I had to do that one because of the fact that I couldn't really think of, all I was thinking was 4. But this one could eventually happen because of the fact that there has been talks about Netflix leaving, moving facilities from Georgia to another location in regard to some other stuff that non-related to this, non-related to Disney Plus coming, but because of the whole other issue that I could probably tackle in another show, on another episode or Channel Extra. But moving to a new location could possibly be beneficial, especially in one area that a certain governor has been pushing, that really wants Netflix to come to, and that's here in Connecticut. Governor Ned Lamont wants to have, was considering the idea of having Netflix come here to Connecticut, and we have a very good facility to do so, which Stanford is a good place to have that, because not only is, and I'm sorry that I have to bring up wrestling again, but the WWE headquarters is actually moving, so to a bigger location in Connecticut, so which I believe is in somewhere in Stanford too, I might add. I think, I don't know, but they could put Netflix right there in that location, and it's a win-win. And who knows? Maybe yours truly can go down there and say, "Hey, I got some ideas for you guys." And it's like, let me pitch. Like, I'm gonna pitch these. Let's talk turkey, Tom Turkey, if you don't mind. let's talk business. And who knows? Maybe you'll get to see this show on a bigger platform. But I'm just blowing smoke out of my ass. But you never know. You never know. One thing that definitely needs so yeah. That's a pretty good idea. Even though it probably won't happen, but it is a good one. But here's a good one. Here's an even better one. Coming in at number 4, lower the price. Now, as it stands right now, Netflix is pretty pricey. Seeing that it's only one streaming service, and there's a reason why I put that at number 4, because I got more stuff to include with that. But lowering the cost, since it's just one network, could really, and yes, one can argue that Netflix is a network. Yes, it is. It is a network. You have original content. You have some movies, but there's a lot of it. There's a lot of original content, regardless if it's television or movies, and I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But it's going to be but because of that, it's just Netflix is just one company. So that's one of the that's the main reason why they're losing subscribers, is because of the fact of how expensive because of how pricey it is. Because I think now you're paying like $15, like $15 or $16 a month for Netflix. I mean, I can even tell you right off the bat how much I'm paying for, without tapping into my, too much. And that's including sales tax. So hold on. Because I know I had Netflix deduced. already. Okay, so $16. $16. So it's $15.99. 15.99. And that's included in tax included, because you got to add in the state tax as well too. Some areas they don't have the state tax, but um but yeah, I got the sales tax on there, so yeah, it's pretty pricey. so yeah. So yeah, so since it's just that one, since it's just Netflix. I know there's other streaming services. I know, but I'm only looking at Netflix as a whole. It used to be affordable. It used to be affordable. There was like different payment options that you can do so, and there was a lot of payment options that you could do so. And because of how, because of that, it's pretty pricey. Now, Hulu, as it stands right now, is the most affordable one, because that stands at like $8.99. And the WWE Network, again, I'm bringing up, which is another one. That is $9.99. Now, Amazon Prime, is another streaming service I have, and that is $14.99. So that's $15. So that's $1 less than Netflix. Plus, you get a lot of content on there as well too. You get a lot of content on as well too if you're a Prime subscriber. So you get lots of content that you can watch. So that right there is very good. Which is also good for me, because now I can finally watch some riff tracks. I'm just saying. And George Carlin. So. And apparently I'm now getting Stars for free for 7 days, and then after it's $8.99. So yeah, I got Stars for $8.99. So I'm just saying. And then of course, and then you have, I believe, $6.99 for $6 or $7.99 for DC Universal. So it's something to look at. So yeah. Netflix is pretty pricey since it's just one streaming service. Since it's just that one streaming service. So so now you know the prices of each one per month, and which one's the most expensive. I'm just saying, Netflix, you need to lower your prices. And which brings me to number 3, which is which could also help you out in the long run. Not saying that that you should do this, but this is a good idea. Cut back on new original content. I'm not talking about old and current content that's on Netflix right now. Like Stranger Things, or Bird Box, or Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, that sort of thing. What I'm talking about is new stuff that's coming to that hasn't been on Netflix yet, that is coming to Netflix. I looked at September's lineup, and it's mostly catering to original content that's coming to the app, that's coming to the network. a lot of original content is coming. There's like tons of original content, whether it's television or movies. And I'm not talking about um, the new season of The Ranch. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like other some new shows that are coming in, some new ones. I say ease off on the new content that's coming in. I mean, it's fine for September, but October and November are coming up really, really fast. And what could really help you with, which is a segue to number two, bring more content owned by Universal. Now, Netflix is owned by Universal, which is owned by NBC, which is owned by Comcast. So you see the chain right there? Tons of stuff that's owned by either on NBC, NBC Universal, that sort of thing. Bring it to that channel. Bring it to Netflix. For example, all of the Universal the Illumination Animation, which is Universal's animation movie studios. For example, the Despicable Me movies, the Minions. I know Despicable Me 3 is on there. I'm not sure if Despicable Me 2, but I know for a fact that the first Despicable Me movie is nowhere to be found. Bring that to there. Also, Knight Rider. That's a show done by Universal. Bring it to there. As far as Incredible Hulk is concerned, I'm not sure if it's going to stay with Universal, or is the Incredible Hulk series or movie gonna go to Disney Plus. We don't know. That's another big issue right there too. Unless unless Universal said do whatever you want with the Incredible Hulk because we're doing jack shit with it. So, which is true, they're not. Which is why whenever you see the Incredible Hulk in a movie, Universal's getting a percentage of it, which is why Sony is bitching and moaning about the same thing. I'm just saying. You don't see Universal acting up. Just putting it out there. So yeah. And just recently they're going to be getting rid of Friends. Keep it. Keep Friends on the loop. Keep it on there. Everybody loves Friends. I love Friends. Keep it on there. I would like to see the Problem Child movies on there. They're done by Universal. Why not? Bring it on there. Bring in a lot of content that has never been on Netflix, or has been on Netflix but hasn't been on there for quite some time. Do so. And one thing I want to add as far as one honorable mention that I want to bring up is season your content. Why are we seeing Christmas movies in the spring? Why are we still seeing Christmas movies in the springtime? Why? Your holiday lineup should be starting the day after on the day of or the day after Thanksgiving, like traditionally that we've seen them on TV. Do so. So yeah, that's an honorable mention that I have. Um, because I'm seeing a lot of Christmas. I'm seeing lately. I've been seeing a lot of Christmas content. Um, on my recents. I mean, on not on my recents, but on the recommendations area. You need to stop it. Halloween's coming up. Plug that. Just saying. Keep Christmas. Keep the Christmas seasonal. That way you can just sort out all the Christmas content, whether it's movies or specials. Put that separate, and then all you have to do is flip a switch. I'm just saying, and not to mention some of the Disney Christmas content is going over to the Disney Plus on launch. So yeah. So yeah. But anyways, back to what I was saying. You have tons of Universal has tons of content which is owned by you and NBC and Comcast, that sort of thing. Make it work. Make it work. Which brings me to number 1. I mean, because bringing a lot of content that's already there, bringing a lot of classic content that's already there, whether it's movies or television, kind of like what Disney Plus is doing. Definitely need to make the price that you pay for. I'm just saying. Which brings me to number 1, and it's something that that Netflix should probably think about in the long run, because as I said before, Disney Plus has a lot of content. I mean, it has a lot of stuff, not just that you can watch with National Geographic or ESPN or Hulu, but this is what you need to do, and it comes in at number 1: merge with other companies. Need to do that. Think of what Disney Plus is doing. Think of what Disney Plus is doing that can really help you out. That can really be like, okay, so I see what Disney Plus is doing. We can make enough noise to be competitive with that. I mean, as I said at number 2, you have a lot of content from Universal, whether it's movies alone. Movies original the movies from Universal alone can be very beneficial, especially with the fact that you never put in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies on Netflix. You haven't even done that yet. Just the original trilogy. I mean, you can still add that. You could bring back Scarface that you just removed. You could bring back the Back to the Future, which I think you just removed as well too. I mean, do that. Bring them back. Bring in the Back to the Future animated series. Do that. That's run by Universal. Bring in some stuff and kid shows that could be already in the, you have already, and not only that, DreamWorks is already on. I mean, even though you already have DreamWorks, bring in more DreamWorks stuff in there. Come on, let's bring in all the Shrek movies. Let's bring in Ants. Let's bring in I think Small Soldiers is still on there. I don't know. But think about it. You could be bringing in, and plus you're going to be bringing in Turbo, which hardly anybody remembers. But you have the original. You have the Netflix original Turbo, and now all this time, you're finally bringing Turbo onto on the the movie Turbo. I mean, you could be doing a lot. You could be doing a lot. Not to mention, here's a good competition. Warner Brothers is looking to. Warner Brothers is interested in what DC Universe is. DC Universal is doing. Why not contact Warner Brothers and DC and say, hey, Disney and Marvel are working together. Come on to and see what they're doing with Hulu. Why not bring some Warner Brothers content as well as all the DC movies? Bring them over. Why not? I mean, even though the DC movies are kind of lackluster in a way. I mean, some good, some bad, some in between. But there is some sort of feeling that we get when we watch the original Christopher Reeve Superman movies. There's a nostalgic feeling that we get when we see the original Batman movies that Tim Burton directed. Let's do that. Let's bring those over. Let's bring those over to Netflix. Let's bring the Police Academy movies, which is one of my favorite comedies of all time. Bring that back. Bring that back to Netflix. Bring in the Police Academy cartoon. Bring in some cartoons that hasn't been seen on streaming media platforms, whether it's Cops, Mask, not the Mask based on the movie. I mean, you could bring that too, but I'm talking about Mask, which is abbreviated. It has these cars that has a second feature has a second. There's like one card that the doors open up and you can fly. There's a helicopter that can turn into a jet. That sort of thing. That was my favorite show back in the 80s. Some of you know what I'm talking about, but you young kids don't know yet shit. So I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I love you. But, I want to... I mean, you know what? Why not have... Why isn't there that much love for Turbo Teen? Come on. Bring him on here. Bring Turbo Teen on there. Bring back the original... Bring back the original... Think about this, too. You're going to be getting... there's going to be two of the three Lord of the Rings movies. Why not all three? And while you're at it, bring in The Hobbit. And since we're talking about New Line Cinema, why not since Halloween is just around the corner, and a month or so away, why not throw in every single Nightmare on Elm Street movies? And since we're still talking about New Line Cinema, bring in all the Ninja Turtle movies, which segue into another nostalgic classic from my youth, the Ninja Turtle cartoons. Nobody has ever seen the original. No one has ever seen the original 1980s version of the Turtles on streaming media platforms. None. Only the CGI shit. But I'm talking about the Ninja Turtles I'm talking about the Ninja Turtles that where Rob Paulsen was voicing Raphael. That type of thing. Trying to give a good analogy, but I don't really have any pictures to show for. but I'm talking about the classic Ninja Turtles cartoon, what started this, what started all this. Bring them on there. You got all the Power Rangers episode. You got every single Power Rangers content, which you need to keep. Keep. Do not get rid of any one of them. If you're planning on getting rid of them, don't. Don't even. I'm telling you right now, you will lose a lot. You will lose a lot of You will lose a lot more subscribers if you get rid of the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers content. Not to mention, you have a lot of Nickelodeon you do have some Nickelodeon content, as well as you just recently brought in that Invader Zim special and the Rocko's Modern Life special. Why not work with them? Why not work with them more? Let's bring in some classic Rocko's Modern Life cartoons onto that stage. I know that they're on Hulu right now, but bring them in there. What happened to Ren and Stimpy? Why did you get rid of them? Bring them back. Bring back Ren and Stimpy. Beavis and Butthead. You used to have a lot of Beavis and Butthead cartoons on there. Bring them back. Bring them back. You have Beavis and Butthead Do America, but you don't have the Beavis and Butthead TV series. Throw in some MTV content, throw in some MTV programming that they had, and plus also bring in all the MTV movies, like Joe's Apartment, Varsity Blues, those movies. Bring those in there. You have all these opportunities to be working with other studios that Disney has not owned yet. Take advantage of that. Bring them over. Work with Warner Brothers so that we can see all the Harry Potter movies. Bring them all on here. Bring them all on Netflix. Because I'm telling you right now, if you just because if you're just gonna flood your streaming service with original programming, everybody's going to get bored with it. Everybody's going to get bored with it. Also, another honorable mention that also should come into effect is that bring these programs on a weekly basis, not all at once, so that we can just binge watch and then we can say, what next? Space it out. You did that with Joe McHale's show. You did that with that one. Do the same for others. For example, if there's going to be another season of Orange is the New Black, which I highly doubt, but I don't know, bring that on a weekly basis. If there's going to be another season, I'm sure there's going to be another season of Stranger Things. Space it out so that it's just one episode per week. You just brought out 13 Reasons Why. If there's going to be another season, I don't know if there is, space that out. Same thing with The Ranch. You got another season of The Ranch. Instead of just putting all the episodes out at once, space it out. Because I'm sure there's going to be, and not only that, I think there's going to be another season of Big Mouth. Space it out. You kind of did that with the return of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Another thing that you could bring in, riff tracks. Bring back, put in riff tracks. You got Shout Factory. You got some stuff with Shout Factory. Bring some more stuff in there. Come on, let's see the Japanese Power Rangers, the ones that started it all. Bring that on there. And while we're talking about Japanese content, Godzilla. Bring all the kaiju, Godzilla, old school Japanese Godzilla movies. I'll let it slide with the 98 version. But But again, nobody will really watch that because it's the 98 American version that sucked. Bring that on there. You have the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, but no Legend of Zelda. Bring that on there. And while we're at it, why not bring in the Super Mario Brothers movie? That has not seen the light of day on any streaming platform as I recall. It could happen. You have tons of stuff that hasn't been touched. There's tons of stuff to work with that hasn't been touched or hasn't been seen a streaming media platform in such a long time. You brought back, I mean, you did a special, you brought in a special of Laugh-In, which was which was done by the same, which was the same idea as what Norman Lear did with working with Jimmy Kimmel to bring back two classic episodes, to bring back a classic episode of All in the Family and a classic episode of the Jeffersons that was done in today's era. Why not bring in Laugh-In, those original Laugh-In? I mean, now you could watch Laugh-In on Amazon, but if you don't want to go like that, how about Hee Haw? Hey, everybody loved Conway Twitty when he was on there. I'm just saying. I never seen him, but I would like to watch it. Why not this? Carol Burnett, the Carol Burnett Show. Why not throw that on there? You have every single Star Trek series. You have every show of Star Trek, but not the movies. Somehow you got rid of them. Why not bring all of the Star Trek movies on there? Every single one of them. You brought back the Rocky movies. Why not Rocky Balboa? Where's Rocky Balboa? Where's Creed? Where's Creed 2? Work with us here. You have a $16 price tag. You have a $16 price tag and only one product to show. And that's original content in some movies. No one's going to pay $16. No one's really going to pay $16 for original programming when you have tons of content that never seen a streaming service. That hasn't been touched by Hulu. That hasn't been touched by Hulu. That hasn't been touched by you. That hasn't been touched by FilmRise or Crackle. You have Adam Sandler movies. I mean, you have Adam Sandler working with you. Why not bring all of Adam Sandler's content onto your platform? Because I want to see Pixels again. I'm just saying. I have a soft spot for Pixels. I actually like that movie. I like it. If you don't, that's fine. But you see where I'm getting at. And not only that, why not bring some HBO content? Why not bring some HBO? Let's binge watch some HBO programming. Because even HBO is expensive. Why not throw some HBO? Why don't you mix HBO onto there? Do that. because I want to binge watch The Sopranos. I want to start. I want to watch. I missed out on watching Game of Thrones. I left off on season 2. I want to finish on that. I want to see the Red Wedding. I still haven't seen that episode. Like I said, I'm stuck on season 2. You see what I'm getting at here? We could be watching all this content. We could be watching all this content if Netflix would start negotiating with other companies. The way Disney's doing. That's why they're going to be. That's why I think that they're going to be pretty dominant when it comes to, because you're going to because Netflix. I'm telling you right now, you're going to lose a lot of customers if it's just Netflix that you have. If it's just Netflix that you have, and nothing to show for it except flooding with original content, then you're going to bore your audience. You're just going to bore your subscribers. You need to bring something in there that say, "Hey, I remember seeing this when I was a kid," or, "Hey, you're a kid. You're a kid. Maybe you can." I mean, that was smart on you guys to bring in the Ghostbusters cartoon. That was really clever of you. I give you props for that. But throw in some more Transformers cartoons. How about Dragon Ball Z? Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball cartoons. Speed Racer. I'm not talking about the reimagined Speed Racer. I'm talking about the classic Speed Racer that my father grew up with. How about Gigantor? Lupin the Third. Cowboy Bebop. Huh? Inuyasha. Inuyasha. That was a good show. Naruto. See the cup? See? Cup. Right there. Over here somewhere. See where I'm getting at, folks? They have all this content. Bring back The Wizard. Remember the movie The Wizard with Fred Savage, and they go to the Nintendo gaming competition? Where Super Mario Bros. 3 is released for the first time? The most commercial movie of all time? But I have a soft spot for that movie as well, too. You see where I'm getting at, folks? I want to see all that. The Comedy Central roasts. South Park. I remember they used to have South Park like crazy and unedited. Let's do that. Let's bring them back. Saturday Night Live. I remember watching. There used to be tons of Saturday Night Live content on there. Now you can't watch it. Come on, let's do something here, folks. Come on. See what I'm talking? See what I'm getting at, folks? We can. There's tons of content that's not being touched. And Netflix only wants to throw in original content. That's why they're gonna lose. That's why they're not going to last if they keep going down the road that they're going. they're not. I feel that they're not going to do it if they just keep throwing original content in our faces. They just released Ultraman, some Ultraman cartoons. Why not bring the classic kaiju shows of Ultraman? Ultraman was awesome back in the day. Ultraman was actually the one that got me into watching giant monsters fight each other. Ultraman did it for me. And I love Ultraman. Why not this? Boomerang. The only way you can watch Boomerang is through the Roku. But I want to see Boomerang on here. I want to see Boomerang on Netflix. I want to see Yogi Bear. I want to see Quick Draw McGraw. I want to see El Kabong. I want to see the Jetsons meet the Flintstones one more time. I want to see those classic Tom and Jerry cartoons. I want to see that. I want to see SpongeBob back on Netflix. I remember when SpongeBob was on Netflix. That was awesome. They can do it. Start talking to people. Let's make some money. It would be so awesome to see a lot of our favorites on Netflix instead of having to watch some original content. It may be like some theatrical classics. See where I'm getting at, folks? I'm just saying. Well, that's pretty much all the time I have for today. I thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And looking forward to another episode with you guys next week. Follow me on Twitter at TomDog247. And if you missed any of tonight's episode, you can check it out as soon as I turn off the camera. You can check it out as soon as I turn off the camera. Thumbs up the video if you like it. Comment down below on what you think Netflix should do to be a good competition with Disney Plus, and what would you like to see on Netflix that either has never been on there or hasn't been on there for a while. I'd like to know what you have to say on that. Ringy-dingy that bell so you can stay notified on what I'm going to be doing next. Also, more importantly, more than anything in the world, I will love you for it. It's face hug that subscribe button. We will see you all again here next week. Same Tom Dog time, same Tom Dog channel. X. Until then, this is Tom Dog saying take care, so long, peace.